The mental impact on me of struggling to breastfeed was enormous. I remember crying a lot, feeling like I was just an inadequate parent, that I was failing my children. I felt very guilty. I know an awful lot of women talk about you feel guilty that your baby's not getting enough food. You know, you've had, especially with your first, you've got this tiny, fragile little thing, and I think it's quite difficult for anyone to believe that you can really feed your baby just with your breasts. And a crisis of confidence is a big reason for a lot of women giving up. I remember looking down at her and apologising to her over and over again for not being a good enough mother.
It was so difficult. When she did latch on, it was very painful for me, and it was about day 4, she went on a complete nursing strike. She just refused the breast completely, and I was absolutely devastated. I didn't know that was something that babies could do, and I also didn't know, I assumed that that was it. My milk would go within an hour and that would be the end of our breastfeeding journey, and that was, it was quite a devastating, you know, rejection.
A typical session at one of our groups may involve welcoming anything from 10 to 20 mothers, many of whom arrive in quite a state. They're usually all in the very early days of motherhood. Many first-time mums, but we also see a lot of second or third-time mums, because it's not the same breastfeeding any two siblings. You can be faced with different problems with different babies. Many women are really upset when they come to us. They're desperate for help. Women are usually in tears at every single group. It can be a very emotional experience, especially at that vulnerable point where you've just left the hospital, particularly with your first baby, and you just don't know what to do. You want somebody to tell you what to do.
I think I would have just given up without them, because I had so much pressure put on me with my first daughter to formula feed and to stop trying, really. And I felt so sad and guilty that I think I would probably have given in to that. And breastfeeding has ended up bringing me a lot of joy. I have the satisfaction of knowing that I've been able to feed my babies myself as much as I can. And the cafes are an amazing place to go, and I see this with lots of other women as well, to really express that sort of grief that you're feeling, that your breastfeeding is proving difficult, that it's not going right. It's very easy when you talk to other people for them to dismiss it, and I don't judge anybody that gives their baby formula at all, and I've done it myself. But a space where people understand that you might not feel happy doing that is really, really valuable.
I just felt that that was wrong when it's a problem that is fixable. It was a very slow process, so we were still needing support all the way through to sort of 3 months. Was when I felt that actually I could be secure in the knowledge that actually this might be working now. And she was gaining weight, and she was feeding well for me, and it wasn't hurting.
Everyone at the group I was at, when it was announced, said that they would not be breastfeeding, was it not for the very specific and highly trained expertise of the midwives at the group. It's midwives that do specific support for the women, that avoids readmission to hospital, that avoids A&E visits, that avoids longer stays post-birth at hospital. Postnatal depression in mothers who want to breastfeed but can't is much, much higher. Some estimate, it's twice as likely for those mothers to become postnatally depressed. Hormonally, it's such a vulnerable time when you first have a baby. The message is given out by the government that breast is best, and that's absolutely right. But if we don't give the community the right support to implement that, then we're setting many mothers up to fail.